I wanted to be the best end of. That's why I did all the different federations as a lightweight and a middleweight and light middleweights. So I just wanted to compete. Federation didn't mean anything to me. They still don't, because how can you call yourself the best if you've only competed against one federation where you know year in, year out who's going to turn up? Oh, I know who's won the North East, I know who's won the North West, I know who's done the South. So if you go back every year and beat the same people, it doesn't make you the best. You know? So challenge yourself. Go and keep going to every federation that will let you compete with them. And then if anybody said to you, oh, if you do that, you can't do this. There's 2,000 bodybuilders in this country, maximum. It's not big enough for somebody to dictate to you. So do what you want. But if you want to be good, you've got to challenge yourself by being good. And you can only do that by standing up against the best.
No, I was going to say, do you think there are too many federations? Do you think it'd be better if there was
far less? Because I think the more there is, then the more opportunities other people have. Yeah. What I think they do is should get themselves into a dark room and all stop arguing and being like children and say, look, we're a small federation, get rid of your egos, take your own dick from up your ass and do something for the athletes for a change. Instead of being, you know, because you can't dictate to people until you want to give everybody a contract and pay them a wage and give them a living. Then you can't dictate to amateur athletes saying if you compete with us, you can't compete with them. You haven't got the authority to do that. And if people walk away with the feet, you vote. You go, you know what? I'm not doing that. I'll do this. Yeah, there is no elite. There is no elite. You only give them elite because you feel threatened or intimidated by certain people. So I never shave my beard and I've kept my tattoos and my piercings in.
Okay, so as many people know, you've not competed in a couple of years. Would you say you've now walked away from the bodybuilding stage and you're onto something else? And if so, why?
Yeah, I think more people know that when I did the Grand Prix in London last year, I was well out of it kind of thing, but I was 49 and although I think I was in good condition, I could have been bigger, but at 49 I'm not going to pack on 50 pound of muscle. Flex Lewis is 20 years younger than me, 25 years younger, 50 pound heavier. He's got more potential than I ever had. So if I never got there when I was younger, I'm not going to get there now I'm older. And hats off to him because he's going to be a worthy and a great champion. So when you stood there in your underpants, still looking at people thinking, this is way out of my league. It's like a boxer that's had one fight too many. I didn't want to go down and not get up. So I thought, yeah, 49, I'm 50 tomorrow. It's a good place to end. And I've always toyed with lifting heavyish weights, as you know. So time my wife started getting into some powerlifting after she competed a couple of years back. Thought, you know what, I'm going to change the rules, still use the same toys, just play a different game. So last 2 years, probably 18 months, 2 years, been doing some more powerlifting, and that's took. I thought that would be a 6 month. Oh, I'll do this, do that, and I'll be right in there. I'm still working on my bench press after 2 years, you know. So it wasn't as easy a switch as I thought it was. And although I was good at squatting and reasonably good at deadlifting, I've had to readjust my style and my technique for that. Yeah, so we're coming along nicely. I've done a couple of little shows. You know, for my age and weight, I've 2 British titles already and a couple of little records. So I think we're progressing well. This year we've got a comp in 3-4 weeks, which is the BPC. So I'd like to think I can do well in that. I've got to do a qualifier in Folkestone 3 weeks after that, and then somewhere like that, and then I think the ultimate at the end of the year to go to Prague and do the World Championships. So that's my agenda. So yeah, so I don't think I'll ever be tanning up and getting back into my sparkly undies.
So in terms,
still on the wall, I'm good there, and I stroke him every now and then. It's a bit like Barry. White dove is returned. If you haven't seen that advert, it makes no sense. My competitive bests at this moment are 260 kilo deadlift, 255 squat, and 137.5 bench. These are all raw, so it's unequipped and unassisted camp.
So powerlifting goes on formula as well, doesn't it?
It
So
does.
for you, in formula in general, that's very, very good for your weight and your age.
Yeah, pretty good.
Well, it's good anyway. You know, I'd like to be able to squat
Well, I think the
260.
last comp, I totaled everything up, and it came to over the 3 lifts. It was an 8-time body weight total.
Wow.
So I think that's getting there. I think if we get to about 9 times body total, I'll be doing well. And I think if we get to 10 times, I think I'll have to have a new spine. But we're working at things. You know, I've always had a few total. When I was younger, I used to lift a lot heavier, but I was heavier then, and probably supplemented a little bit more than I do now. But I've always wanted to do a 300 squat or a 300 deadlift. I'm not sure. I don't care which one comes first, as long as I manage to do one of them. I can go heavy, go yes. So, and I'd like to be able to get my bench up, but I've got a bad shoulder and bad form. I don't like it, and it scares me. So. But we're working on it. I've given myself another 3 years, and then I'll see where I am by the time I'm 55. See what isn't broken, and then we'll see what we're doing then. So.
What
Eat.
Eat.
Yes,
Anything else?
we work 6 days a week, 60, 70, 80 odd hours a week. And I don't drink, I don't socialise very well. I'm a bit of a miserable git. But I do like my food. Although I'm anorexic and I don't eat a lot of food, I do eat fine food. And so me and Tam just trawl restaurants. And we go, oh, that looks good. And I'll have some of them and a bit of this and a bit of that. So fine dining, I suppose, is our favourite. Pictures, theatre, shopping, mooching, holidays, reading, music, videos, comic books. Yeah.
If someone is competing in bodybuilding now and they want to do what you've done, they look up to you. If you could give them one, or you might want to give them more than one piece of advice, what would it be?
Make sure it's really what you want to do, because it don't come easy. And if you ain't got the ball to nail them to the floor, don't get on the ship.
That's excellent.
No, nice.
Okay, thank you, Mr. George. You know, you've been the person I've looked up to throughout competing.
Alex is 6'5" and I'm 5'3", so you know, for those who don't know.
So it's been an honour to interview you. Thank you very much. And would you like to plug anything? Not.
It's just gone X-rated.
I left out of my hobbies on purpose, Alex. I didn't really want to that.
It was actually an invitation to Alex.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the gym called, and how can people get in touch with you, etc.?
Oh, with an Olympic gym, and you can contact us on Twitter, email, Facebook, phone, anything. You need to speak to Tan, really. Tan's the IT person, and I'm the not person. So realistically, but we try and cover everything if we can. But you either like us, like as you know, we're Marmite. You either like us or you don't. And if you've got an ego, don't come. So.